American Indian legends and what the apocalypse might look like. While the prophecies of the Hopi Native Americans are widely known today, it's important to recognize that the Hopi are not typical Indians as often portrayed. They were not the horse-riding tribes of the prairies, nor were they familiar with figures like Chingachgook from the Delaware tribe. The Hopi are highly cultured people, once part of the Aztec Empire, and their language is closely related to that of the Aztecs. Meanwhile, in the United States and Canada, numerous indigenous tribes have their own shamans, cosmology, and legends about the end times. During the 1960s and later, Vincent Leduc, known as Sun Bear, collected these legends. Whether he was a genuine Indian or merely gaining trust, we only know him as the author of a book read decades ago. In those times, the content seemed wild, impossible, and unimaginable, even to those wearing tinfoil hats. However, now we see that the Indian shaman Sun Bear quoted may have truly had visions of our present and near future. For some time I have had many dreams, he said, foretelling the Earth's coming changes. One reason I organized the Bear Tribe as a rural community was due to dreams of major destruction in the cities. I've seen a time when cities will not exist in the current state. During these changes, the most dangerous places will be near cities with nuclear and chemical plants. All major cities will experience service failures. In my dreams, I saw huge piles of garbage in the streets, power supply failures due to storms, and earthquakes and broken, abandoned water mains. I've also seen race riots in big cities with street gangs fighting uncontrollably, and when there is no money to pay salaries, the police will refuse to protect the people. Instead, in one dream, I saw police band together in groups called Brothers in Arms, using whatever they had to take whatever they wanted. This happens worldwide. I've seen cities hit by epidemics from bad water, toxic chemicals, or other strange sources. I saw a rusting wheat crop with growth that had looked like lumps of rust, destroying crops globally. Birds died out, except for large black ones feasting on human corpses scattered everywhere. And in my dreams, I've seen small groups of people living close to nature, accepting newcomers. There were no isms in these groups, no Catholicism, no communism, nothing. We were just humans living on Earth in a sacred way. By this time, 3/4 of humanity will have gone, and only those with higher consciousness will survive. And when these prophecies were written, imagining race riots in U.S. cities was difficult. America and Europe were completely different then. Only Red Cross doctors traveled to Africa had encountered epidemics. There was no significant contamination anywhere except in developing socialism countries where industrial pollution led to severe health issues. And returning to Sun Bear, experts today note that in the cosmology of all Indian tribes, the Earth is seen as a living organism that shamans can communicate with. For instance, in 1979, a Chinook chief ordered his people to flee Little Sister, a mountain known as St. Helens, to palefaces. This is back in 1979. A year later, it erupted, surprising the USGS, but not the Native Americans who seemed to know it would happen. And when shown moving pictures on a screen, the warriors urged that their chief to take them back to the reservation for compensation, but the chief insisted they stay put, warning that Little Sister would eventually cause the ocean to overflow and clear the land of people for a vast distance. Since then, the Chinooks, like all other Indian tribes, have awaited the prophecy's fulfillment. In their cosmology, humans are like fleas on a dog. When few in number, they don't bother the dog, but when too many accumulate, the dog gets nervous and shakes them off. The Earth does the same with seismic tremors, shaking off pests. As Sun Bear wrote in the 1970s, earthquakes will become more frequent and many volcanoes will awaken. The climate will change drastically. When these measures don't help, the planet will shake thoroughly, causing oceans to overflow and some resident fleas to be cast as far as Mars, he says. And this is from Soul Ask. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.